hello Marvel fans, and welcome back to another episode of The Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host Jonathan, once again bringing you my thoughts and review for the final episode of Marvel's Ironheart Season 1, Episode 6. Spoilers ahead if you have not seen this episode, but he's here, folks. Mephisto has officially entered the MCU, and I have theories of what this episode is gonna, have theories of how the ending leads into something bigger. But we'll get to that. So we all know that Riri wanted to go one final showdown with the Hood, and also try to figure out a way to get Natalie back because she lost her AI because of the whole magic thing combined with the tech. Did not mash well. So she needed to get the Hood. So she goes to fight, the Hood. Of course, she has to go fight Electric Boy and try to help him get his control back. Because apparently, when he got plugged up, the Hood was able to control him by just be like, oh yeah, jump or fight that person or this or that. And she had to deprogram him just so he can reboot, so he can get his entire self back. So she defeated him. I feel like he's gonna be a problem in the future for Riri, so we'll see. I thought he was gonna turn good at the end, but it looks like he might still be bad, so we'll see. And then of course we got the big showdown. We did get to see the Hood, or Parker, literally go like complete wolf style creature looking thing, demon possessed, and try to fight Riri, and that stuff was cool. My only complaint about him being the Hood and his look, which is cool, I just wish his guns were more demonic a little bit, you know what I mean? Kind of like if you ever play that game Devil May Cry, those guns look kind of demonic in a way, but the bullets are cool. But just, I don't know, just him having regular guns with magic bullets, it just didn't jab right with me when it came to his look. But other than, I know that's in the comics, he has normal guns, but they could have upgraded a little bit and just made it look more kind of cooler. But either way, still very cool. So yeah, Riri defeats him, and then she meets Mephisto. But before we get to that, let me go back to the flashback that we got to see of when Parker got the Hood. So when he leaves his father's mansion for the first time, him and his boy split up. He goes down a dark tunnel. Mephisto shows up, and an English-looking person, I believe it is Sacha Baron Cohen who plays him. So that was cool to see him play that character. He looked at British. He looked at awesome. Looked at cool. Kind of what the character would have been. This is the guy. He's supposed to be the devil. And supposedly the guy who also creates Ghost Rider. So there's that little nod. So hopefully one day we'll see that. One step closer, folks, to getting Ghost Rider. We're almost there. We got Mephisto. We just need Ghost Rider. We're set. But anyway, I honestly thought we were just going to see him as a flashback, and maybe he'll say something at the end, and that's it. Nope, we actually got a pretty good, decent amount of Mephisto in this, when he, at the end of the episode, when Riri beats and takes the Hood from Hood, she has a sit down with Mephisto. They start talking. He's like, hey, listen, I've done things to a lot of people. I've made people who make the list of 100 richest people on the planet. I made half of those people who they are. I've made popes be who they are. I can help you. And he starts talking about how his power combined with Riri's tech can really change everything, And I have a theory about what's gonna come after this. This is gonna blow your mind, and I'm gonna be the only one who's gonna say it because I think I might be on the right path. I could be wrong, but I could be in the right path as well. So anyway, they're talking. We all know what she wants. We all know she wants Natalie back, real Natalie, not just the AI version. Although the AI version was cool, but she wants the real one. He can sense it. He sees it. So they start talking. They're talking. She's kind of like, oh, are you Dormammu? He starts laughing. He's like, please, Dormammu is not even it's a piece of gum to my shoe. He says something else, but I'm just being, clean here. Anyway, he's nothing to compare to me. And then he reveals himself that he is Mephisto. So we finally got Mephisto in the MCU. If you don't know, Mephisto in normal language is kind of the devil in the comic books. So yeah, kind of like how Lucifer in the DC universe is who he is. Yeah, he's all red. We even got a shot of him in his comic book accurate look. He was stirring his tea, and then he lifted up the spoon, and you can see a reflection. It's really quick. You can see it. I thought that was great. So they talk. It looks like he even shows Natalie a kind of. He shows Riri a kind of like a vision of having Natalie back, and it looks like she made the deal. So she's like, "Oh, how are you touching me?" Natalie's like looking at her. It's like, "Are you okay? You feeling okay?" And then they hug, and then you can see the little red streaks of red marks coming to her arm, kind of like how Parker had in his face and his body, starting to consume her and take over her. So, and then it just ends there. Then we get to the after credits. And there's an after credit, folks, of the Hood coming back, or Parker this time around. He goes to that magic shop and he talks to the young girl who helped Riri with the magic. He's like, "Hey, can I go to the back and see the real inventory?" And then it ends there. So yeah. So first of all, overall, I like the show. Is it perfect? No. There were some things in here that I kind of scratched my head about, like obviously, like, as much as I like the crew and how they kind of like, he had the hand-to-hand combat experts, he had the pyrotechnic expert, he had the hacker expert, he had Riri as the tech expert. They were kind of misused here a little bit, in my opinion, because when they all turned on the Hood, they all just bounced and left. He fires them and he's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna betray me? Fine, bye." And then we never see them again. Nothing. So whatever. And also, I kind of wish we got more from the Hood. Seeing him use the powers more. I get it in the comics. He has the powers and he uses it more. But we never. Obviously, this is a 6-episode thing, so we really couldn't see him use all the powers of the Hood. But still, I wanted to see more than just him disappear and just be like, "Oh yeah, give me this, give me that, because I have a gun. I can pretty much make you do this and just sign these contracts," kind of a thing. If he would have showed his demon form to people, that would have been cool. It would have been like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure, here you go. Don't hurt me. Sign over this, sign over that," kind of a thing. But we get what we get. It's only 6 episodes, so what can you do? I am grateful that Marvel made it a little bit longer than normally, so I applaud them for that. So, okay, so here's my theory for what to become. Now that we know that Mephisto is officially in the MCU, and we know there's a certain little movie coming out next year called Doomsday, and we've all been wondering, who is this Doctor Doom? Why does he look like Tony? Why is he this? Why is he that? Now, I once said that Doctor Doom or Victor Von Doom comes from a world where he is idolized by the people as their Tony Stark character. He's like the Tony Stark of their world, but his name is just Victor Von Doom. He's born Victor Von Doom. He has parents who are their name Mr. and Mrs. Doom, and he lives the life of like Tony Stark. But he's psychopath, and nobody knows that. Now I'm starting to think, with this episode that just came out, what if this is a Tony Stark what if he's a Victor Von Doom that, he had a great life, he had, a variant of a Pepper Potts kind of a girl, a family, kids, whatever, and he just lost them. What if he loses his family, some tragedy, maybe, enemies come after his company, take his family, kills them, and he's trying to figure out a way to get them back, but he can't stop them alone. He needs help. His tech, he has good tech, but is not, the best tech in the world. What if he makes a deal with Mephisto? "Hey, help me, please. I want revenge on these people who took my family," or whatever. And he makes that deal, and then he just becomes mad with power. It'd be a little bit different from when we've seen him, Victor Von Doom, in the comics with Reed Richards and all that. What if he lost everything? What if he wanted Sue, and maybe he had Sue in his world, You know, Sue was his girl instead of, you know, Reed Richards, and he lost her and the baby or whatever, and he wants revenge, but he didn't have enough power to do it. So when he makes a deal, he becomes Victor Von Doom, aka Doctor Doom. He has the magic, he has the technology, he's able to combine it. But yeah, he looks like Tony Stark, but because the people, you know, idolize him as, you know, the Tony Stark variant, but even though they know him only as Victor Von Doom. He's just Victor Von Doom. He's a tech genius, billionaire, playboy, but he lost his family. He had to make a deal, and he goes crazy. He needs the magic to become powerful, to become who he is, so he can crush his enemies. I mean, that's a possibility. I mean, who knows? Who knows? But I'm just thinking outside the box here, folks. Who knows where this variant of Victor Von Doom is going to come from? Fantastic Four's world, somewhere else. We don't know. Maybe he does meet Mephisto. Maybe Mephisto helps him out. Who knows? But it was just a fun little theory. But overall, this episode, this show was okay. I kind of wish we had a little bit more. I liked the Riri character. I wanted to see more. But you know, what can you do? Disney Plus right now is just, you know, they're just giving these Marvel periods, just like their train needs some serious maintenance. Hopefully Fantastic Four turns out great, because if it's not, we may be looking at the point of like, is anybody even going to care of Avengers Doomsday? Yeah, it is a possibility. You know, we got Superman coming out next week, and that could be a hit. Who knows, with fans and critics. And if that hits, maybe Marvel fans will just go to DC fans and see how that turns out. You never know. We could get 10 years perfectly of DC and see the failure of Marvel, and that can actually be a possibility, folks. So, you know, they need to fix this. So hopefully, you know, the next shows and Fantastic Four turns out to be good hits, because that's all I want, but we'll see what happens. But overall, I thought it was an okay show. Hopefully good to see Riri again, especially now after this happened. Yeah, and hopefully we get closer to see Ghost Rider pretty soon. So, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about Ironheart overall. Did you finish it? Not watched it? Don't care? Don't want to watch it? Whatever. Have your own weird reasons. Owning Tony Stark as Iron Man to you. And War Machine as well. Leave me a comment below. Let me know. Stay tuned for more. Thank you very much. And have a good night.